Alrighty, it's day 2 of Tulip time, and the sun is bright and shiny in comparison to yesterday, which was miserable. And it is like 8:40 now, and we're gonna go on a wagon tour because I've never been on the wagon tour. And I'm here with my friend Mona.
Hey! Hi!
Hannah. So we'll get on this wagon tour shortly, and I see that my old coworker slash friend Mike Moore is working the booth, so I'm excited to see him because I haven't seen him in like 2 years. So yeah. Right? You know, I kind of wish this guy actually had a monkey.
Welcome to Pella and our 83rd anniversary of our Tulip time. My name is Ava, and my name is Brent, and we will be your tour guides. Feel free to ask any questions at any point in the tour. We'd love to answer questions. For 83 years, Pella has celebrated our Tulip Festival. Tulip treats and a blooming good time is this year's theme. Our community is proud to honor our heritage, share our museums, our Dutch costumes, and our local stores. Our festival is dedicated in memory of Dominee Hendrik Peter Schulte. He and his fathers left the Netherlands for a new home in search of religious freedom. Dominee's wife Maria arrived here in August of 1847, over 170 years ago. Okay, we're going to be looking in this whole area here on your guys' right, and that is what we call Central Park, or formerly known as the Garden Square. It was plotted by Dominee Schulte in the mid-1800s, and here it is where the Schultes spent their first winter in a log cabin before moving into their mansion, which we'll talk about later. This huge thing right here is what we call our Tulip Tower, or Tulip Horn, and it was a gift to our community by Mr. and Mrs. H.P. Piper, the founder of the Pella Corporation. The crest at the top, you can see, is about 13 tons, so that's a lot, with the Dutch Royal coat of arms, and as well as a motto at the top, which is in French, which means I shall maintain. Behind it, you can kind of see from this angle, you'll also be able to see when we turn the corner, is the 12 flags of the provinces of the Netherlands. This is what we call our Schulte house, and within a year of moving here, Maria moved from her log cabin in the square to her 23-room yellow mansion, which was built by Dominee and his settlers. It remained in the family for 4 generations before being donated to our historical society. This house has an exterior of native black walnut, and the interior is decorated with many original items brought here from the Netherlands by Dominee himself. If you are interested, it is open for tours.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
As we travel through town, you will see some typical Dutch architecture. The Dutch-style buildings are influenced by the Netherlands' small size and its clay soil. Thus, a typical Dutch building was tall and narrow, not only preserving space, but also saving taxes based on the canal frontage used. This may explain the claim that the Dutch are very frugal. Bricks and tile, products of clay soil, were often used as building materials. Study the Dutch storefronts downtown. Many are copies of storefronts in the Netherlands. Even our Walmart, White & St. Bank, and all new buildings in town are intentionally built to mirror a building that could have been built in the Netherlands. And you can see our White & St. Bank as an example of our Dutch architecture. It's actually a requirement for any big business like Walmart or McDonald's to have a Dutch storefront. So even McDonald's is a little Dutch. I'm sure that you guys have probably seen some other people wearing Dutch costumes like we are today, but I'll tell you a little bit about my costume. So my costume is a Marken costume, which is more of like one of the middle class type of costumes that would have been worn back in the Netherlands. And one of my family members traveled to the Netherlands and got all the patterns and materials to make it, and then she came back to the United States and made it, and it has been in my family ever since. Typically it's worn with a hat, but my hat is too small for my head now. But the market costumes usually have little like strings on the side, and if they're tied, that means that you're married, and if they're untied, it means that you're single or unmarried. So my costume is from the province of Utrecht, which is actually the smallest province in the Netherlands, and it is a little in the northeast side of the country. And this costume is pretty unique compared to the other ones, mostly because I have this big board, or what they call wings, on. And depending on things such as, well, your social class, how much education you had, it depends the pattern on your wings or your board. And so if you were really happy, you would tend to have lighter colors, but if you're going through periods of mourning, you'd have more dark blues and purples. So I as well have, my sleeves. I have this piece of fabric on here, but inside it's black, and it's connected with a safety pin. And it's not just because, like, oh, that girl forgot to sew her costume. It's because they thought they were pretty fashion forward in the Netherlands, and when it would get hot, they would be like, oh, I'm going to take off my 5 inches, 4, however many inches of fabric here, and I'll be warmer. All you won't be is warm. They would wear wooden shoes for to keep their feet warm and their feet dry. And also, for another example, my Utrecht is on both sides. One is a fishing village, and one has very abundant timber. So that was an easy way for them to make shoes.
And they like to slide on the canals when they're iced up.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah.
So coming up over here on your guys' right is Central College, and this is Pell's Fine Arts Liberal College. Family Squilty gives several city blocks and about 160 acres of land.
I have an announcement.
And then we are coming up on another windmill here. This one of the current window is the Marion County drive-through bank, and the arms of the mill are turning when the bank is open for service. So definitely more creative than just an open close sign. That's where I keep my money, so if you wanted to know, my account number is, I don't know that either. I probably just gonna struggle. It's gonna be a struggle. In July, Lake Red Rock hosts a balloon race and festival. Then on the way to Lake Red Rock is a 3-acre soccer complex, and Boss Land is a beautiful 18-hole public golf course. Boss Land is a land of woods is nestled in 350 acres of rolling hills. And we also have a private 9-hole golf course on the north side of town. And then adjacent to Boss Landing is the Pelham Municipal Airport, and it has the only exercise terminal in the country. The 54-foot including several local corporations. So turn the corner here on both sides, you can see a lot more Central College, and you will go back towards the stadium.
I'm Texas bound. But if you want your freedom, baby, I love
Any questions so far? Nothing. Not even like my number or my
What's your number?
I don't know, it's a little intimidating since your parents are on this wagon
well,
ride.
Chris. So that's the house that we just talked about, the ones with the flags here. So we'll be turning the corner on your guys' left will be our community center, or right now it's just about right in front of you. This building was built in 1915 and is served as a high school, a middle school, and now as a community center, and it now houses our city parks and recreation and cultural activities, as well as many social service agencies and civic organizations. My rec basketball career began in the basement of that, and I don't play basketball anymore, so it was bad. On the same side, we have a private public library, which was formed in 1855 by Henry Peter Squilty and 3 others. At the time, it cost $2 for a membership. But a free library was then organized in 1903 and housed in a private home. But in 1907, the Carnegie Grierson Public Library opened, and that is on the square by the Memorial Building, which now serves as our town hall. But this current library was built in 1999 and opened in 2000, and it's one of the busiest and largest for its size. And we're very blessed to have a great library here, and I love reading books, so I spent some time here. All right, real quick, just look right over here at the Fire Station Museum. It was built in 1882, so be sure to visit it and see the preserved antique fire engine and equipment. The firehouse is open each afternoon of tulip time, and there is no admission charge. That yellow brick house is the yard of the house. Many windows and businesses here and even gas stations are adorned with Dutch lace in their windows. You can see an example of this in the windows of this beautiful yellow brick home on the corner, and several stores downtown carry Dutch lace if you are interested. And you can see this in several homes along here. About on the other side, you do it, Bryn? Yeah, okay. On this side, we'll have the McClatchy house. And it was built in 1853. The lovingly restored house is predominantly Gothic in architectural style, and Mr. McClatchy operated the ruined mill that I just talked about a little bit. Any questions?
Shane lives there.
Shane.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Oh. So if
We
you're
play video
wondering,
games.
coming up on your guys' right is the Jefferson Place, which is part of the Hearthstone Ministries of Wesley Life. And it is part of our Pella Regional Health Center, which I'll be talking about, which is behind me at the moment, but you'll be able to see it on your guys' right. Pella Regional Health Center opened in 1960 with only 20 employees and 5 physicians. Since then, the hospital has grown to nearly 800 employees with clinics throughout in several towns throughout southeast Iowa. While Pella Regional is smaller, it is unique in its many services provided. Here we have a strong obstetrics program with nearly 500 babies born in the last 3 years. While surgical volumes continue to increase along with many other services, Pella Regional continues to provide healthcare and healing services with a Christian compassion for the residents of Pella and surrounding communities, and that never seems to change. We are fortunate to have such a great health care service and facility here in Pella. So here on your guys' right is Sunky Gardens Park, and it was the original site of a grain mill, but now it is a favorite retreat for Pella citizens, especially children. If you can look at the pond, it's actually in the shape of a wooden shoe, which I didn't figure out until I was like 13, and I've lived here all my life, so don't ask me why. But if you want a better look, you can look on Google Maps. Great aerial view. This Dutch windmill and spectacular tulip beds complete the setting perfectly, and if you would like to come back to the gardens, you can either walk 2 blocks north of the square or take the shuttle here and back. So when we're coming up here, if you look between these 2 houses, you will see a log cabin. And this small log cabin was built in 1843 and predates the arrival of the Dutch in Pella. It was discovered several years ago when the siding of the house was removed, and it was quite a surprise to the owner who had intended to demolish the house. Instead, it has been restored, and currently the Historic Pella Trust is revitalizing the log cabin to be open for educational purposes. The cabin will be open from 10 to 4 every day during tulip time. We'll also be going past here. If you turn the corner of that white church right there is a Skokie Church, but I'm sure you can't miss it. Our 1850s Dutch grain mill, and this is an authentic grain mill that stands at 126 feet high, and you can even view it grinding grain on certain days. It has an observation deck attached to an interpretive center, along with a miniature Dutch village. This windmill was even built in the Netherlands, disassembled, shipped here, and put in its permanent spot where it is now in 2002. Since we are not near a significant flow of water like they usually would be in the Netherlands, ours is powered by wind, which we are blessed with. As you can see, my hair was looking pretty good before I left, but now not so much. So here, this is where we will be dropping you off, and we will be ending our tour. We want to thank you for coming, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your time in Ella.
Alrighty, we just got done with the tour. We're gonna enjoy a breakfast sandwich now on my list of foods for the day. And then we're gonna go wander around town. So if you enjoyed this video of the tour of Pella, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.